Hi everyone, this is Jan Romano from Mass Higher Metro North Career Center. Today we're going to talk about some LinkedIn basics, what you need to know and what you need to do. And if you have a LinkedIn account, this might be a very good review. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, we're going to start right from the beginning. First question we're going to discuss is, what is LinkedIn? So you know it's an online professional platform that hosts information about people and companies, industries, and job openings. But most important, it is about you. It is your online professional presence. Sometimes we refer this to your personal brand, establishing yourself as someone who either cares about a particular topic or an idea, or that you're associated with an industry. Your brand allows you to show your skills and successes, and LinkedIn allows us to do that and market ourselves on LinkedIn. Why should you use LinkedIn? For those reasons that we just talked about, but mostly for networking. Networking is one of the best ways to find a job. We want to be found by employers. So how do we be found? How we're sending out our resumes, we're doing cold calls, we're networking, but we also maybe want to be found by an employer through LinkedIn as well. We want to be able to expand our career opportunities and search for jobs. And so you can do all these things on LinkedIn. LinkedIn currently has over 610 million members, so that's quite a few members all over the world to network with. You will see that there are 77% of recruiters are on LinkedIn. You will see that companies will typically hire, let's say, an internal recruiter they'll have, or they'll hire a recruiter for a particular event that they're trying to fill a job posting for. And so they find potential candidates on LinkedIn. And 92% of Fortune 500 companies use LinkedIn, and 20 million active job listings are on LinkedIn. So you can job search, you can research companies, you can be found by employers and recruiters, you can network with people, and so these are the reasons why you should use LinkedIn. Why do employers like to use LinkedIn? Well, they like to find their next greatest employee. Hopefully that's you on LinkedIn. Companies are using LinkedIn to recruit talent, and they can search for keywords and find all the people that have this particular keyword in their profile. They can search by location, they can search by job title. So say somebody's looking for an instructor in the Woburn area, but that teaches Excel, so those keywords would be on my profile and they'd be able to find me. LinkedIn is the largest group of professionals online, and so that's why they're using LinkedIn to find their next great employee. It is a pre-interview, really, basically, that they're looking at LinkedIn for. So when you apply for a job, pretty much your resume goes out. They got your resume, they'll Google you, they'll see what other social media sites you're on. And the main social media site for professional job seekers, of course, is LinkedIn. And so it's like a pre-interview. Employers can compare your resume with your LinkedIn profile. They can look at your About section, which is the summary section, and they can see your skills and your talents and your successes. They can look at recommendations and skills and endorsements and groups that you might have joined, and they can look to see if you've published anything or have any content on there that may not be added to your resume. So they can get to really know you through LinkedIn. And so it's your responsibility to give them what you want them to know about you. Make a good first impression. Build your brand on LinkedIn. So there are two types of accounts that you can have on LinkedIn. So there's the LinkedIn free basic account, and there's the LinkedIn premium account. And so the LinkedIn premium account you have to pay for. It's $29.99 a month. You do get a free month if you like to start with. 39% of LinkedIn users have a premium account, and so I would check out, maybe search for other people that you know that are in your same industry at the same level of you as you, and see if they're using premium, and that might be a good idea for you also to use premium. But what do you get for your $29.99 a month? Well, you basically get to send 3 in-mail messages per month which can be sent to any LinkedIn user regardless of whether they're connected with you or not. You can see who's viewed your profile in the last 90 days. And if you don't have the premium account, what you're going to be doing is you're only going to be seeing about the last 5 people who've looked at your account. You're going to be able to, this is important, be at the top of a recruiter's list when they are looking for someone who meets the criteria for one of their job openings. And so that is key, being at the top of the list. They can search for, let's say they search for an instructor in the Woburn area, they might get, the list could be 500. And so where do I want to be on that list? I'd like to be at the top of the list. There are other things you can do that can help you out in that direction as well, though. See how you compare to other candidates when you're applying for a job. I think that's a great tool in LinkedIn to see how you compare. Now, LinkedIn will give you a little bit of information if you have the basics, but it'll give you a lot of information if you have the premium. You can also view salary insights while browsing for jobs. And so I know you can look at Glassdoor and some other websites in order for salary insights, but if the employer puts a job posting on LinkedIn, they may give what the range of salary is, and that will help you determine whether you want to apply for that job. You can also access LinkedIn's online videos, which are really good teaching tools. And as I mentioned, you do get a free 30-day trial. So I have the free basic account. I use it when I teach. I use it for myself. And so I think that's good enough to start with. But again, I wanted you to know about the premium account as well. So what are we going to do? We're going to get started, and we're going to go on a tour of LinkedIn. And we're going to be using my LinkedIn account. I'll bring it up in just a second, and we will look at it. I'll go through the items that I feel are necessary to build a LinkedIn profile. I may not go through them in depth. That will be for the next video, but let's take a tour right now. So right now I'm going to go into my LinkedIn account. Oops, I'm going to come up here and jump right in. Here we go. Here I am. And so what do you see first of all? And there are about 12 things that I really want to show you that are going to be important for you to fill in when you do your LinkedIn profile. And the first thing right here is the background picture, and there's always a pen. So whenever you click the pen, you're always able to see different segments of the LinkedIn profile for you to be able to log in and change. So right now, if I click this pen, you're going to see that here is the photo and the background photo, and they both have pens associated with them right here, and I'm able to type in my name, first and last name, add in a photo, add in a background photo, type in a headline, keep coming down, type in a location in the greater Boston area, and choose from an industry. So this dialog box has a few things in it, and you're going to be filling those out, and this is what the profile will look like. So I can see a picture, but more importantly, I can see a picture of myself, so that when I go on an interview, this picture should reflect who I am today and what I look like today, and so that somebody can recognize me when I come in on an interview. My name, of course, is important, and it's right underneath. And then this is called a headline. I'm going to go over this in my next session, what a headline should read. Right now I have software instructor, social media trainer, workshop facilitator. Those are 3 titles that I have. Is this a great LinkedIn headline? It's okay, and I leave it there on purpose so that I can show you how to change that and make it even better a little bit later. But so these are in the top box, and this is what an employer sees right away. And so what is your brand? Well, I'm a computer instructor, let's say, and an apple for the teacher. Here's what I look like. Here's my name, and this is how I describe myself in my headline. So what else do they see? Well, I come down a little bit further, and this is the About section. So I'm going to click on this See More, and I have 2,000 characters that I can type in. We call this the summary. It's the summary of my skills, the summary of my successes, any statistics that I have that I want to put in there. I want to put in who I am, what I've done, what I will do in the past, what I'll do in the future and what I've done in the past, and write it in the first person and make it interesting and informational. So this is where an employer, when they get your resume, they say, well, this person looks good. Let's take a look at really who they are. And so does this match up with what they say they are and will do on their resume? So this is the opportunity to do that. And again, we'll spend a little bit more time on that in the next session as well. I keep coming down. You'll see I have a dashboard and then some activities. But what comes next? Well, what you want to fill out next is the work experience. So notice there's a plus sign right here. If I click this plus sign, I'm able to fill in a form for my work experience. I can put an end date and a beginning date, or I can say that I currently work there, and I would then put that in and maybe add a little video to it. And there's the MassHire logo. I'm an instructor at MassHire, Metro North Career Center. And so here is my job. It's chronological order, starting with the last position that I had, and then it goes down. Remember, you want to put on your resume, maybe go back 10 to 15 years. If you did work for the same company for the last 30 years, of course, you want to put that in there. But whatever you have on your resume, you really should have on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a lot more room, though, for you to add more information than you can on your resume. Sometimes we're trying to keep it to 1 or 2 pages, and so we're taking a few things out of our resume. So this is an opportunity to actually add as much as you want to explain what you did in those past jobs. The next section is education. So you'll see education, and there's a plus sign here where you're able to add in your education. So if you had, for example, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, obviously you're going to put those in. Any certifications or any trainings you can put in as well. And then we move on to volunteer experience. And then importantly, underneath that is skills and endorsements. Skills and endorsements, you have the opportunity to put 50 skills into this section, and they should be skills that you typically want to brag about, that you've seen on job descriptions, that you want somebody to know that you can do. And so you start off with your top skills that you want to promote, and then how do they become your top skills? Well, people will come in and endorse you. So they'll endorse you, saying basically that they agree with you that you can do and do have this skill. And so the top 3 will be listed. But notice if I click on show more, I have the opportunity to put in 50 skills, and these are searchable skills. So if somebody is looking for someone to do adult education, I have that skill and I will be found on LinkedIn. So I'll keep coming down. The next section up is called recommendations. And you typically, if you look right here, you ask for recommendations, and some people will write recommendations for you, maybe even without you asking. I know that happened in my case as well. So I've asked previous managers, I've asked coworkers, and then some people that have been taking my classes, they've also automatically uploaded or sent to me actually a recommendation, which was very kind of them. And so what does an employer do? An employer takes a look at all of these recommendations and sees what people are saying, and gathers from that. Your recommendation that you ask for is sent to you via LinkedIn, and you can decide if you want to post that or not as well. So then an employer comes down and takes a look at your accomplishments, and you can brag about what you do and what you've done. Again, so these are, again, some additional keywords. And then also what you're interested in. So this section at the very bottom is companies that you follow. So there's a way to follow companies. I'll show you that probably in the next couple of sessions. You can join groups. We're going to talk about connections in just a minute. And so there are groups that you can join, and there are schools that you can follow. And so this is a list, and an employer can see this list as well. So now I'll go back up. There are a few things that you would really, maintenance things that you'd want to do in your LinkedIn profile that we'll eventually talk about. But right there, that's the overview of what you need to do to complete your LinkedIn profile. After you fill it in, then what you're going to do is connect to other users on LinkedIn. And you're going to ask to connect with them. So if you have a past coworker, a past manager, a present coworker, present manager, someone that you know that you want to connect with in, say, in your same industry or an industry where you feel is going to be helpful to you to maybe find a job, you can also connect with strangers. I connect with people all over the world that do what I do. So a computer instructor, a LinkedIn instructor, Twitter instructor. I find those people on LinkedIn and I ask to connect with them because I feel like we can share ideas and I can learn information from them as well. So how is that done? Right here, I'm going to click on the search bar. Notice it says people, so I can search for people, jobs, content, companies, schools, groups, but I'm going to search for people, and people is the default. And what I'm going to do is I'll type in, for example, and actually I'll use Kelly. She's right here. Typed in Kelly before, and Kelly's profile will pop up. She is already, notice it says right here, a first degree connection. So I asked Kelly, or Kelly asked me, to connect via LinkedIn. So on Facebook, we call it friends. In LinkedIn, we call them connections. And you should start off with at least 50 connections. 50 connections. You can think of 50 people, but one nice thing about if you're unsure about how to, or who to connect with, let's say I do connect with Kelly, I can also take a look at her connections and find people in there that, oh yeah, because I know Kelly, I might know somebody else, and ask them to be a first degree. So you want 50 first degree connections. I'm going to go back up here to the Me button. I'm going to click on View Profile. And I want you to notice that I have 500 plus connections. Well, if I click on this 500 plus connections, I really have over close to 1,400 connections. And so these connections I have, and I've asked them or they've asked me to be a first level connection. And so the people that they know become my second level connections automatically. And then anyone that they know that's in their list as well, that becomes my third level connection, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So I have 3 levels of connections, first, second, and third. And what does LinkedIn do? LinkedIn counts the first level connections, and you should have at least 50 of them. And if you have 500 plus, you become a little bit more of a power user in LinkedIn and get a few more bells and whistles as well. So that is an overview of LinkedIn. So let's go over what we learned. So we learned that you need a background photo. You need to put your photo in, your name, your headline, your location, your industry, your summary, which we call the About section, work history, education, skills, make connections. Once those 10 things are done, ask for recommendations once you've made connections, and join groups as well. So that's it for now. What we're going to be doing in the next section is we're going to be talking about the LinkedIn headline and summary and how to build your brand. So look forward to going through that information with you.